with my buddy Nick Tasso taking a look at some stacking options for today's slate. I like today's slate quite a bit. I mean, good pitching. We have cores on our hands, but a lot of favorable places to target. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The last time we talked, it was kind of a tough day. There was a lot of good starting pitchers, and I still think there are a few on here, but there's still a good amount where you can kind of stack and do a lot of fun things.
Yeah, and I mean, you and I hopped on the pod and three completely different stacks each. It usually doesn't happen too often. Usually we kind of hit on at least one, and that's kind of how I feel about the slate. Like there isn't just one stack that really stands out as like a must play.
No, I agree with you there. It's going to be a high scoring night, I would assume, and you got to find the one that really goes off.
Yep. Boston was the one you were taking a look at. High run total. Offense really starting to get going. The Texas series did help, definitely. Another good spot here against Gallardo, who's just been below average for the last few seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the Red Sox. I know Pedroia left yesterday, but they still have a lot of good bats, 1 through 5, 1 through 6 in there. The bottom half of their order isn't the best, but back at Fenway Park, they've kind of heated up now, and they have a really good matchup against Gallardo, who kind of can implode at any given moment.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly, I mean, as a Sox fan, I don't like to say this, but I don't mind the Pedroia injury because maybe it gives a chance for them to mix things up a little bit and move into a bat up into the top of the order because I kind of feel like they need to change it up. I mean, Bogarts finally got the shine with the home runs last night, but I would like to mix in a value bat in that stack somehow.
Absolutely. You look at the Pedroia's body of work this year, and it's really kind of been subpar. So I'm not saying, and I never wish for anyone to have an injury, but who knows what could come about this, and maybe it could spark. You see that a lot of times where people get injured, especially team leaders, and teams kind of rally around that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna assume Benintendi would probably slip up into the order. I think he's hit fourth or fifth the last few days, so kind of shake things up too.
Yeah, it will be an interesting thing to see what John Farrell puts out, and also interesting that John Farrell probably isn't on the hot seat anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. I mean, hopefully they go through a little losing stretch because I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping they should have just done it on Monday, but it's hard to, I guess,
You can't fire
hard
people on
to fire
Mondays.
someone after. Well, it's hard to fire someone when you score like 10 runs in the
I
past
know.
game, so and get the win. So that's the only tough thing. They should have
Yeah.
done it Saturday night. That would have been
Houston's
fun.
Houston's my top stack. Kevin Gossman's on the hill. I mean, this guy's been absolutely awful this season. FIP XFIP over 5. Low 43% ground ball rate, not allowing a ton of soft contact. He did okay against Toronto, but he still allowed 11 base runners over 6 innings. With his reverse splits, I mean, I just worry about, guys like Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve. And this is kind of, I mean, we're getting some really nice prices on DK. Both Reddick and Springer are under 4K. Carlos Correa 4-1. So, I mean, DK dropped their prices down a little bit, and this is kind of where I want to be taking advantage of. So I like Houston. I like this game in general. I don't even think Baltimore's bad on the other side. I think a full game stack's actually worthy of a play because you can kind of mix and match positions. Baltimore has Chris Davis and Manny Machado that they can use while Houston doesn't really have those bats that you can fill a stack in with.
Yeah, I agree. I know we talk a lot, and you seem to like the Astros a good amount. So I agree with you. They got a lot of good priced bats on that team, and you can find them in good spots. Especially like you said, Reddick. He usually hits up in the order, and sometimes he can unload. So it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it does feel good when you have him rostered.
Yeah, and if they open that roof tonight, I mean, Houston's already a decent hitters park, but obviously that adds to it as well. So I mean, high total. I like both sides of that game.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Diamondbacks you're looking at on the road. That game was such a letdown last night, but I kind of feel like it pissed people off, so maybe they go elsewhere tonight. But I like going back to the well with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're always a good team, especially at home, but this game's on the road, and it's not even that huge of a drop-off going to Miller Park. So I definitely like them. The starting pitcher, Guerrero, isn't the best, And even though there has been some injuries, like we've discussed about Pollock, you still got Lamb in there. You have Goldschmidt, and then once they mix and match the lineups, you could get some guys in good spots. So starting with those two, and then seeing what the lineup is for Torey Lovullo.
Yeah, and I mean, for once, we probably get a Diamondback stack that's going to be less than 10-15% owned.
Absolutely. I mean, all eyes are going to be on probably the Rockies game most likely, and that's going to see some good amount of ownership rate. But once you go off that, especially when we talk and it's a 14 game slate, I mean, there's going to be a lot of differential lineups out there. So I agree with you. Outside of probably Lamb and Goldschmidt, most of going to be 10% or less.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I think, Washington's another team that's going to be a team that's popular as a stack, which I'm not too sure. I'm not on the Washington stack tonight. I think Perdomo's actually a decent limiting damage. I know he had the bad outing against Diamondbacks, but they're just running completely hot right now.
Yeah, totally. The Nats are pretty good too. They have a lot of lefties and can do a lot of damage.
Phillies, team I'm taking a look at tonight, and this is a team that I don't stack often, but warm night in Philly. It's a small ballpark. Tim Adelman's on the hill. This is a guy who, I mean, bat against both sides of the plate, 349 WOBA to lefties, 337 WOBA to righties. Home runs are an issue as well, allowing over 1.50 home runs per nine to both sides. Sub 20% strikeout rate. I mean, hard contacts up. It makes this Phillies offense intriguing, and I kind of, to specify how I would use them tonight, I mean, with the amount of high-priced pitchers like DeGrom, like Archer, like Scherzer on the hill, I think Phillies kind of fit the bill here to stack, and then you can get some big pieces of bats around them because they're all super cheap. So I think this is kind of a stack to pair with another high-priced stack or pair with high-priced pitching. That's kind of how I see using them.
Yeah, I can definitely see going down that route. Obviously, there's a little bit of a risk, but good ballpark, bad pitcher. Offense really hasn't been doing the best out there, but they're also priced really low, like you said. So you can throw in Saunders and Herrera, guys like that, and obviously throw in Caesar, but you should get some good production out of this team.
Yeah, as you said, they haven't been doing much. I mean, they've been completely awful. I mean, their offense is, they had a hot, first 2 weeks of the season, and then they've really cooled off. So hopefully things can get going here. This is a good pitching matchup for them.
Yeah, that's when you want to play guys, especially in spots like that when no one else is going to be on them.
Yeah. You're moving to the West Coast in this one. You're going to have to sell me hard, bud. I mean, Cubs is what you're looking at here.
I know. It's not the greatest. Alex Wood has been a good starting pitcher this season. I can't believe I'm saying that. But if you look at his games, I feel like he's been like a rich man's Wade Miley. Like, he's not giving up any runs, but he's also not doing much to limit the damage. I mean, for hits wise, and he's still giving up 7 hits or so a game. And I have a feeling that this Cubs team could actually wake up in this spot and really make those hits count. So it's not the safest, I'll admit that, but I definitely think contrarian wise, you can kind of play the Cubs tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think they're going to be contrarian. I mean, I agree. I mean, Wood has been decent. It is surprising to say because he's probably been slightly above average lefty at best in his career at times. So, I mean, it's kind of tough to pick on him right now. I mean, I like Bryant. I mean, are you looking at like Russell and those guys and maybe a bias?
Basically any guy too. See where Contreras is hitting. I have a good feeling about him too. But you look at Wood over his career, he had that one good season in Atlanta, and then he completely bombed ever since. And all of a sudden, he's figured something out, I think. But again, if you look at it, it's not like he's going 6-7 innings, allowing 2-3 hits. He's still giving up a good amount of hits. And when you have this Cubs team who can kind of make things happen, I kind of tend to lean on their side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to get the Cubs really, really low owned. I mean, really low owned.
Yeah, some of the guys are priced not too terribly, and that's the issue I always find with the Cubs is they're always way too overpriced. But I don't mind them here.
Yep. Mets were my third team. The only drop off here for them is going to PNC Park, but Chad Kuhl, I mean, this is the worst possible spot for Chad Kuhl just because his numbers against lefties are awful. And the Mets are going to run out about 7 or 8 left-handers. So he's allowed a 386 WOBA in his career, 37% hard contact rate, doesn't miss any bats. I mean, Mets are going to add Estrebo Cabrera back from the DL today. So, I mean, that helps out at shortstop. That kind of drops Jose Reyes back down so I can stop playing him. But, I mean, Michael Conforto, red hot, Jay Bruce, getting healthy again, Neil Walker, Lucas Duda. I mean, it's not an expensive stack. I mean, Michael Conforto does add a little bit of a price tag to it, but I like it here, and I like it. I'm hoping people are off of it just because it's in PNC, but Chad Kuhl's off. I mean, he's allowed a couple of bad starts. I mean, 6 earned to Washington, 9 to Chicago, 4 to LA over 4 innings. So, I mean, there's definitely a blow potential for Kuhl.
Yeah, absolutely. The Kuhl kids are going to be sad in Pittsburgh tonight. He's just going to give up so many hits, runs, whatever you can imagine. And you look at PNC, and even though it is a big ballpark, it still allows a good amount of home runs when you have hitters who can hit home runs. So I definitely like these guys. And like you said, lefties galore in this Mets offense.
Yep. I mean, I think they're coming in. I'm kind of hoping the ownership stays pretty calm throughout the day. Because, I mean, they would be a nice kind of contrarian stack if other people are going elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can totally see playing the Mets just because for that reason. Even though it's a bad ballpark.
Yeah.
You know how I hate bad ballparks, but you know what? This might work.
So, let's talk cores real quick. 2 decent pitching. I mean, I think if I am stacking cores, I'm going to be taking a look at the Cardinals on DraftKings because no one's priced up over 5K. They're all low to mid 4s. I don't think it's a great spot to actually just completely load up on cores tonight, but I actually don't mind a Cardinal stack on DK just because of their price tags.
I'm always a sucker for playing cores players, regardless of the matchup. So I think I'll be seeing a lot of Rockies and Cardinals in my lineups tonight.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad spot. I mean, I think I'm more inclined to take Cardinals against Senzatella than I am Rockies against Martinez, but
yeah, for Rockies, I'd probably throw in Blackman. You know how I really love him. So he's had a few poor games last few days, but I mean, nothing like Colorado to turn things around.
Yeah, so let's wrap things up here. You can head over to DaveFantasyCafe.com, check out great tools and content.